Hello, David Snowpeck here from Snowpeck Games, and this is my 5th progress report about adding WebXR support to the Godot game engine. It's been quite a while since my last progress report, sorry about that, but there have been quite a few things that have happened in the meantime. I wrote a text tutorial, how to make a VR game for WebXR with Godot, which has step-by-step instructions for how you would, from scratch, create a WebXR experience or game in Godot using some experimental builds that I made, which include the WebXR module, which hasn't yet, and I hope will be someday merged into the Godot game engine, with the idea that more people try it out, give feedback on the APIs, find bugs. I also made a video version of it, if that is more your thing, and a whole bunch of people have tested it out and given feedback and found bugs. One such example, the Godot Oculus Quest Toolkit by Neospark 314 now has WebXR support. And if you're not familiar with it, the Godot Oculus Quest Toolkit is pretty cool. It's a library of utilities that you can use for building your own VR experience and doing a lot of the things that you would want to do in most VR experiences, like teleport and locomotion, UI screens, like how to build those, how to grab things, do physics, climbing, and all that stuff. And even though it's called the Oculus Quest Toolkit, it actually has support not just for the Oculus Quest, but also the Oculus Rift API, Steam VR, and now WebXR. So that's very cool. And Neospark 314 did actually find a very serious bug in my WebXR module. It was failing to render 2D viewports in VR, which here's a screenshot from when it was broken. And this is how it's supposed to look. And you can see we fixed the bug. Each of these panels has the 2D UI elements that it's supposed to have, and they all work as they should. One of my favorite parts of the Oculus Quest Toolkit demo is the teleport demo. For some reason, I just really enjoy walking around in this city environment. Even though these textures are pretty low res, it just feels good to be in here. Also, M-Sub2 ported a Game Jam game that he had made in VR with Godot called Pixel Arena. And as far as I know, this is the first WebXR game made with Godot that is on itch.io. Here they come. Got my sword ready. Here's another one. Also, VRWorkout, which is a VR experience for doing a more serious workout than the kind of lighter weight workout experiences that exist in VR already. And the creator of that made an experimental port to WebXR. There has been a little bit of actual development as well. Like I mentioned, fixed that bug with the 2D viewports that Neospark 314 had found. Also, with the help of Fales, one of the core Godot maintainers who's responsible for the HTML5 export, among other things, helped me with getting the release builds working with the Clojure compiler, which the Godot HTML5 release builds normally use the Clojure compiler, which reduces the size of the WASM file a little bit and will hopefully help to address the issue with loading times a little bit. And also, on my demo, the race car VR demo that I've been using to test out WebXR in Godot has had some improvements. You can see there's now 2 race cars. They now are no longer just stuck to the track. You can drive them around with real vehicle physics. And there have been some improvements to the controller model. I'm going for kind of like an RC car sort of thing. There's still some changes I want to make to this model. I just haven't had the time to get around to it. Next up, you can see here my giant to-do document. I'm planning to work on finishing up a whole bunch of odds and ends related to VR support in WebXR. So one of those things is I want to finally add support for the select and squeeze events. I mentioned that in a previous progress report. I had started working on it, but didn't get it with quite the API that I wanted. So I want to go back and finally address that, as well as just a bunch of other odds and ends, like being able to actually get the bounds of the bounded floor space. So you can get like the shape of the user's guardian in case you're making an experience where like you're going to expand or contract or otherwise adjust the world based on how much space is in the user's guardian. There's an event, a reset event, that'll tell you when the user has attempted to reset their position, like on an Oculus device where you hold down the Oculus button for a number of seconds and it resets you. There's an event you can catch so that you can have your app respond to that. And just a whole bunch of little things, but it's really not that much. I think I'm getting pretty close to finishing adding support for everything in WebXR that relates to VR. Of course, WebXR also supports AR, and that's going to take a little while. That's the next big thing, but it's a long road because I have literally never made an AR experience ever. Before working on trying to add WebXR support to Godot, I had made a number of small VR experiences, but I've never even really used that many AR experiences. So I'm going to have to kind of immerse myself in AR. I think I'm going to experiment with making an AR experience using ARKit or ARCore. I always get those two confused. The one for Android, to just kind of get a feel for how that's supposed to work, and then attempt to add support for AR to the WebXR module so that we can use it from WebXR as well. But that's kind of a long road. So I kind of expect that my next progress report is going to be about fixing up all of those little odds and ends. And then after that, there will be kind of a longer road to AR. But that's all I've got for today. Thanks, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.